I think we are live. Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back. Let me fix the frame. Okay, there we go. Welcome back to All Levels Yoga with Mercy. It is blazing hot in Los Angeles today. We have the window open. We're going to have the lovely breeze. I'm giving you a little description of what I'm experiencing because I want you to feel a closeness with me, right? I'm your instructor over God knows how many miles. I know every week we've been having people join us from across many seas, right? Europe, Australia, different continents, East Coast. I'm on the West side, as it were. But I want you guys to know that I am there with you in heart. And no matter what particular experiences or particular circumstances we are each experiencing, we are together in our quest for happier bodies and more tranquil minds and spirits, right? So I'm so glad that you guys are with me. Today is series 9. If you're brand new to my yoga classes, you don't have to go back and do 1 through 8. This is just a way of my regulars keeping track of what's happening. And as always, right, you don't have to do the whole 90 minutes. For sure. If you just panicked when I said 90 minutes, don't worry about it. Do whatever part you want. Rest whenever you want. That noise was cat scrambling. If you're new to my online classes, yeah, cats do things during class. Some people tell me they watch just to see the comedy and to see me be embarrassed by, yeah, catscapades. Anything can happen. I'd like to invite you guys to just take a comfortable seated position, whatever that is for you. You can sit in half or full lotus. You can sit with legs tucked underneath you. Let me see if you guys can see. I have my knees tucked under me like this. I'm just going to take my palms face down on my knees. And we're going to do a centering before we begin. So whatever's going on around you, maybe you've got toddlers running around and screaming. A couple of people have told me that. A couple of people have told me that they've been doing class seated in a chair, right? They have their leg in a cast or something else. Please make this your own. Please remember that anything I offer you is an offering, right? You don't have to try anything you don't want to try. You can rest for 90 minutes and just kind of let my instruction wash over you, maybe to put in your heads for a later time. The one thing that I do request is that you attempt to do the poses in the manner in which I am describing them to you, right? So trying to kind of go rogue on your own and like, I feel like doing it this way, that could result in injury, right? So I'm sure you guys get sick of me saying this, but yoga is a discipline of great specificity. It's not something we kind of do in our own way and see what happens, right? So try to achieve the pose in the way I'm asking you to do it, and then come out, right? Better to spend one breath in a true pose that's helpful to your body moving forward into greater ease and comfort and health, rather than being like, I'm going to stick this in a crazy way, but I want to show that I can stay in the pose for longer. Guess what? Nobody's watching you. I can't see you. I wish I could. Just take responsibility for being safe, for having a lightness of spirit, right? For not having any particular goal today. Just letting what happens happen. All right, enough talking. Let's go ahead and begin. You can take any comfortable seated position to let your tailbone melt down and the crown of the head lift up to the sky. We're going to take palms face down on the knees. And we're just going to start with the eyes shut. And we're just going to start breathing. We're breathing through the nose, both inhales and exhales through the nose. Later on, when you become heated, you might want to use your cooling breath. That's an exhale through the mouth. But right now, we're just using the nostrils. We're getting taller and taller through the crown of the head. And maybe you're picturing invisible hands pressing down on the shoulders, releasing them down and away from the ears. That should feel good. And now relaxing the space between the eyebrows. And relaxing the tongue and the jaw. And maybe you're going to float the jaw back slightly. Maybe you're going to float the front rib cage back slightly. Right? So in yoga, a lot of times we say expand through the back ribs. Right? That's what we're trying to do. We're going to take any arch out of the low back that might be there, just bringing our spine into greater alignment. And if you have an Ujjayi pranayama practice, you can begin that at any time. That's just a slight constriction at the back of the throat that makes a sound that some say sounds like the ocean on both the inhale and the exhale. And when you're ready, keeping the eyes shut if possible, we're going to bring palms to heart center. Take the tips of the thumbs into the heart, let the other fingers spread out from there. We're going to take a second to set a personal intention for our class time today. Those of you who've had class in person with me know that I set a theme each week, and I've continued to do that through our quarantine and curfew time together. So this week, the theme I've selected is a question, and the question is, what is important? What is important, right? So I want you to think about that in two ways. So one is, I've heard from a ton of people this week who've called me saying like, oh, I'm upset. I tried to do something helpful and it wasn't well received, or I tried to be an ally and I got a bad response, etc. So what I'd like to invite you to do at times when your intentions are good and the reaction is not, is take a second to think, what is important here, right? Is the important thing me feeling like I'm doing something, or is the important thing helping, right? Is the important thing me feeling like I'm helping, or is the important thing actually helping? And sometimes actually helping is just simply not reacting when we get a response we don't like, right? Maybe nothing might have helped in that moment, right? So just letting things kind of wash over you and taking a second to say, like, what's important here? Are my feelings important? Or maybe are the feelings of the other person in the situation more important in this moment? And that might change often, right? As far as your practice today goes, I'd like you to just stop whenever you feel frustrated or any sort of negative feeling and say, oh, what is important right now, right? Is it important that I stay in this pose for 5 breaths, right? That's always going to be no. That's not going to be important. Is it important that I don't fall over? No, that's not going to be important either. So what is important to you? I hope that what's important to you in your yoga practice is that at the end of each practice, you feel happier and freer, better in your body, more peaceful in your spirit, and that you view possibilities as more fruitful than you did when you began. So that's my invitation to you today. If you have another theme that you'd rather focus on, wonderful, pick whatever one works for you. When you've settled on something, just go ahead and bow your chin to your chest to seal that intention. Take the tips of the thumbs to the chin, the tips of the index fingers to the forehead. Inhale deeply, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, gently open the eyes and bring the palms straight forward onto the mat. I think a cat was circling me during that opening. Now I see them both in front of me. Say hi. Say hi. Say hi to my yoga class. Here's Mandalorian. Hello, handsome. All right, guys, let's take it to the mat. I'm going to move the camera so that you can see me a little better. I think I have heard that this angle is a little more instructive. So we're going to try this angle again today. Give me a second to set it up. No, that's not going to work. Okay, hold on. Put this back a bit. Let's try this. Is this going to work? Yes. Okay, you can see me here. When I come up here, my head's chopped off, but we'll just make it work. We'll make the best of it. Let's start on our hands and knees today. So go ahead and take hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Get this profusion of hair out of my way here. Point your middle fingers forward. Right? Spin your inner elbows forward. Bend your elbows slightly. They should point back towards your legs, right? No. Yes, right? Drop your head, look at your legs. Make sure your knees are directly under your hips as much as you can. Make sure your feet are hidden behind your legs, and then spin your pinky toenails down to the floor. It will feel pigeon-toed, and that will be correct. That's the inner spiral we talk about in yoga all the time. Inner thighs move towards each other, hamstrings move away, right? On your next inhale, just go ahead and drop your belly to the floor and look up to the sky, arch the back. And exhale around. And inhale, look up and arch. And exhale around. Good. And inhale, look up and arch. And exhale around. And then this next time, I want you to just kind of play with this. I want you to kind of bend your elbows, wiggle around a little bit through the spine, kind of figure 8. Just take a little second to kind of work out the back a little bit. Leave it a little less structured for a second. Wiggle, wiggle. And then come back to hands and knees straight with the crown of the head forward. The inner elbow spinning forward. Hello, Montezuma. There he goes. Take a deep inhale. On your exhale, tuck your toes, push back, downward facing dog. So for down dog, we're going to make sure that our hands and feet are separated enough that the heels are trying to reach the ground, but can't quite reach the ground, right? So if your heels are already on the floor, step your hands and feet apart a bit. If your heels are super high off the floor, step your hands and feet closer. Make sure those middle fingers are still pointing forward. Make sure the inner elbows are still spinning forward. So bend the elbows, they point to the floor. This is yes, this is no, yes, right? Straighten and drop the head. Push your chest to the back of the room as much as you can. And then on your next inhale, lift the heels high off the floor. On the exhale, bend your left knee, release your right heel back down to the floor, pushing the chest away from the front of the mat. Inhale, lift both heels high. Exhale, bend your right knee, release your left heel down, chest presses back. Inhale, lift both heels high. On your exhale, keep your tailbone high and your heels high, but bend your knees. So notice I'm not dropping my butt down, I'm lifting up, bending, and pushing my chest back towards my thighs. You guys might even touch your rib cage to your thighs here, some of you guys. Then take a nice deep inhale. And on your exhale, keep your torso exactly where it is. Slowly straighten your legs, release the heels back down. Yeah. On your next inhale, float. Wait, I'm going to warn you first. Don't move your hands. Don't move your feet. Don't do it. Don't do it, okay? Inhale, float forward to plank position, top of the push-up. So if you're like, oh, I feel like I should walk my hands forward, do not listen to the sound of my voice. Leave them where they are. Here's why. I want your shoulders to come over your fingertips. See how much further forward my shoulders are? Then I'm going to lift my hips. Do not, under any circumstance, drop your hips down. Ow, low back, right? Look towards your fingertips here and just keep floating forward, and pushing the floor away as much as you can. Take an inhale here. Exhale, push back, downward facing dog. Great job. I felt it through the internet. On your next inhale, we're going to float forward again, same way. Exhale, stay. On this next inhale, this is just an invitation, not mandatory, just for folks who want to. Inhale your left hand forward, and then inhale your right foot up. Ooh, so exciting. Take a deep inhale here, lift. Exhale, release, and push back, downward facing dog. Next inhale, very surprising, we're going to float forward again and do that on the other side. So maybe you're just hanging out here in plank. Maybe you're just resting back in down dog. Maybe you're going to inhale your right arm forward, and then on your next inhale, lift your left leg, float it off the floor. So exciting. If you fall over, awesome. That means you're challenging your balance. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release it down. Yes. Stay here. Take the crown of the head super far forward now. On your exhale, elbows touch the rib cage. Look how close they are. Releasing down to the floor. Good. Untuck your toes. So nice, you guys. You're going to take your hands out in an opposite V, an upside down V. So not right by your legs, not out to the side. Split the difference. So drop your chin for a second, relax the neck, and then press your fingertips down and lift your palms. This is spider hands, right? Press with the fingertips, lift the chest away from the floor. Feels good in the upper back to me. And then maybe you just drum your fingertips on the floor a couple times, rolling your shoulders back more. And then pull the palms across the floor next to your rib cage. Okay, this is important. Don't take the hands to the shoulders. Take them back, about halfway between your shoulders and your hips, okay? This is a weird angle so you can't see, but my forearm is perpendicular to the floor here. It looks like it's closer. I can tell on that monitor. So we're just going to pat the floor a couple times, and then you're going to pull your chest forward like you're a snake. Just pull forward, shoulders roll back and down. And then inhale, look down, tuck your toes with a straight, flat spine. Everybody first time push up to your knees. Elbows in, straight, flat spine, knees. Good. Come on back down again. I'm going to show you the not good way. That was the good way. This is the bad way. Oh, compressing the low back, bad, right? So back to the good way. Everybody together. Straight, flat spine up to the knees. Yes. Straighten and push back. Downward facing dog. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Let's take an inhale, press back through the heels. On your exhale, release your knees back down to the mat. Reposition, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, just as we did in the beginning with our cat-cow. Look down to the floor here, and then inhale the left arm forward, handshake position. And then inhale the right leg back. So this is what we just did in plank, except for much easier because the knee's on the floor, right? On your next inhale, you're going to arch your back, look up, like make a banana shape, and then on the exhale, round, tuck your elbow, knee, and nose all together. And inhale, look up, banana, and exhale, tuck. And inhale, banana. And exhale, tuck. And inhale, banana last time. And exhale, replace the hand and the knee. Maybe separate the hands and knees a little bit. Tuck your toes. Push back down, dog on an exhale. Well done. On your next inhale, bend your knees and look forward. The first time we're going to take tiny steps up to our hands, stretching out our Achilles tendons as we come up to the top of the mat. At the top of the mat, let's separate the feet hip distance apart. The big toes are a little closer together than the heels. I'll turn to camera for a second so you can see that. Can you see how my big toes are a little pigeon-toed? Because I want the outside edges of my feet to be parallel with the edges of the mat here. Now we're going to rock the weight super far forward, into the toes, out of the heels. Pull your navel into your spine and see if that lets you forward fold just a bit more. If you're comfortable here grabbing opposite elbow, go ahead and do that. And then we're going to gently pulse towards the floor a couple times. You'll probably feel this in your hamstrings and maybe your low back, so be gentle. And then on an inhale, we're all going to either swing our arms or walk our arms around to the left side, outside of our left calf. Exhale back to center. Inhale, swing around to the right. Exhale back to center. Now, if you've caught your clasp with your arms, switch the clasp. Other arm on top, couple pulses to the floor. Next inhale, swing around to the right. And exhale back. And on inhale to the left. And exhale back. Take an inhale here. Exhale, release the hands down to the floor. Now bend your knees, lift your toes, curl your tailbone under. You're going to slowly roll up to standing. And the head's the last to come up. Let me scoot back so you guys can see me. We're going to keep the toes lifted. Okay, we're going to tuck the tailbone under. Palms come forward and just drop your shoulders down. Good. And then get taller through the crown of the head. And then inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. And inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. And on your exhale, flat back, swan dive all the way down. I'm going to walk back up to the front of the mat again, where you guys are. Right. And then bring your feet together, toe to heel together until the big toes touch. Take your fingertips either to the floor, if you can reach, or to your shins, if you can't. Spin your inner elbows forward, roll your shoulders back. We're going to inhale, flat back, but keep your chin at your chest. So this is no, this is yes. Yeah? From here, keep both feet flat on the floor. Don't lift your heels at all. We're going to bend our left knee slightly and drop the crown of the head to the floor. Again, keep both heels on the floor. You should be feeling something extra in your right hamstring right now. Now inhale, flat back, two straight legs. And exhale, bend your right knee, drop the crown of the head. Good, and inhale up, two straight legs. Exhale, forward fold. Good, I really want to work on a lot of hamstring stuff today if possible. On your next inhale, come on back up, flat back. On your exhale, step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Spin your back heel flat, but point your right toes up at a diagonal here. And try to get your right foot just behind your left. So as if you're on a balance beam. If you have a mat with a line drawn down the middle, which is a great asset, you're standing on the line with both feet. All right? Let me give you guys. On your next inhale, we're going to cartwheel up to a reverse warrior, but be really gentle here. So on the inhale, the right arm comes up, the left arm comes up, the right fingertips touch the thigh or maybe just below the knee, and the left arm comes up, and you're going to look under your armpit here, right, and reach back. But what we're not going to do is collapse down this way. This is no, this is yes, right? Keep looking up under the armpit, keep sinking down into the front knee. Let the pressure be really light with the right fingertips, don't grab your leg. Also, I request that you do not wrap your right arm behind. Why is this? Over 18 years of teaching yoga, I noticed that when people do this, they tend to arch their back. So please don't do that. Please, just for today, leave your fingertips on the leg and tuck your tailbone under while you reach over. Now maybe sink down a tear lower into that front knee. And now just for one breath, inhale, take your right arm up as well. Both arms reach back, deep inhale. Exhale, cartwheel it on down. Lift your right heel, take an inhale. On your exhale, step that left foot back to plank. Plank. Good. You should use some core strength doing that. On your next, that's right, Mandalorian. On your next inhale, crown of the head comes forward. On the exhale, slowly lower. Elbows touch the rib cage. Don't let them come out at all. And release down to the floor. Thank you for moving that mat, but I liked it where it was. Thanks. Thanks for that. What are you going to do? Take your arms out to the sides like wings. We're going to try to do two things at once. Number one is bend your knees. Number two is sweep your arms around and grab your ankles. So it'll look like this. Inhale, exhale, grab, right? If you have to do 1 foot at a time, that's fine. If you can't catch your feet at all, also fine. You'll just hang out here, right? So if you've got those ankles, bring the toes together, bring the knees together, flex the feet, toes point towards the back of the room. On your next inhale, act like you're trying to straighten your legs, but keep your thighs on the floor. Press the thighs down and let the strength of the legs pull the chest away from the floor. Okay, take a nice deep inhale here, lift. Exhale, release it on down. I love that one. Straighten the legs. Take the palms halfway between the shoulders and the hips, elbows in. Tuck your toes, look down. Second time, coming back up from the floor. Again, remember, no rolling up. So maybe you're coming up to knees here, straight, flat spine, or maybe you're coming up to plank, right? Straight, flat spine. We all push back to downward facing dog and breathe. All right, take an inhale, press back to the heels. On the exhale, release the knees back down to the mat. Reposition, hands under shoulders, knees under hips, untuck the toes. Guess what? We're doing it on the other side. On your next inhale, right arm floats forward, handshake position. Next inhale takes the left leg to the back of the room. Next inhale, arch your back, make that banana shape, hello Montezuma. On the exhale, tuck it in, elbow, nose, and knee come together. And inhale, look up and arch. You know what's happening. It doesn't matter that there's a cat in front of the screen. Exhale, tuck. Inhale, take it up and arch. And exhale, take it back in. And on this next inhale, take the arm all the way forward, leg back, and then release the hand, release the knee. Tuck your toes, push back, downward facing dog. So this time as we come to the front of the mat, you have two excellent choices. You can step your feet up, or you can inhale, bend your knees and look forward. And to the exhale, gently float. Feet end up at the front together. We're going to take those feet hip distance apart again. Drop the head, relax the neck, and see how far forward you can rock your way into your toes out of your heels here. Drop that head. Go ahead and just shake the head now. No tension in the neck whatsoever. And then we're going to do what we just did with our big toes together by taking the fingertips either to the floor if you can reach, or to your shins. If you can't, spinning the inner elbows forward. Deep inhale here. On your exhale, bend your left knee, release the crown of the head down to the floor. And inhale, look up, or well, your eyes should looking to your fingertips. Don't bend your neck, keep the chin down. Straight, flat spine, straight legs. And exhale, bend your right knee, drop the crown of the head down. And inhale, come up, straight, flat spine, two straight legs. Exhale, forward fold, drop your head. Maybe you're going to grab your ankles or your calves here and pull the crown of the head to the floor. Maybe the elbows point out, but the shoulders roll away from the ears here. Nice. And then you're going to release. Lift your toes, bend your knees. Slowly, tailbone rolls under, and we roll up to standing. Come back here so I can see you. Palms are out. Beautiful. Keep the toes lifted. Tuck the tailbone under. Shoulders drop. Get taller through the crown of the head. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. And on your exhale, just swan dive flat back all the way down. I'm going to come back forward here. And then we're going to toe heel the big toes together, heels apart. We're going to inhale again, flat back one time. On the exhale, step your left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Spin your back heel flat. Big, all the toes. I started to say big toe. Don't separate your toes. Leave them all attached to your foot. All of the left toes point up at a diagonal here, right? We're going to curl our right hip under first, right? Left hip is curling up a bit. And then when you're ready, you're going to cartwheel up to that reverse warrior, but take it slowly, gently. Left arm, right arm on an inhale. Left fingertips meet the thigh or maybe just below the knee. Right palm comes up and over. We start to sink down into the front knee, but again, we're not collapsing down. We're opening to the sky here. And then keep encouraging that right knee straight over the right toes. Don't let it come in at all, right? So this is no, this is yes. Keep opening up here. Chest to the sky. Maybe sink a hair lower in the front knee. And then just for one inhale, take the left arm back. Both arms reach back. Deep inhale. Exhale, carve it on down. Lift your left heel. Toe heel your right foot to the right slightly. Commit to staying in plank. Don't go right back to down dog. Take an inhale. Pull your navel to your spine. Exhale, shoot that right foot back. Yeah. Crown of the head comes forward. Now, several excellent options here. Number one, you can push right back to down dog. Number two, you can lower down to the floor and take a cobra. Number three, you can take an up dog. What's the difference, right? Up dog, your legs are off the floor. I don't know if you can see with my droopy sweatpants, but this would be legs on the floor. This is legs off the floor. I'm doing that by pushing with my arms, not by pressing with my feet, right? And then exhale, push back down, facing dog. On your inhale, press back through the heels. On your exhale, walk your hands back to your feet. You're at the back of your mat now. Big toes are closer together than the heels. Drop the head, relax the neck. Take an inhale here. On your exhale, take your knees together, release them down to the mat. Bring your feet together. Please don't claw the couch. No, don't claw. Don't claw the couch. Thank you. It's going to be that kind of a day in class. That's just how it's going to be. Knees together, feet together. Sink your hips down to your heels. Walk your hands out in front, child's pose. Drop the head in. So in this child's pose, just take a second to get really long through the spine, really reaching forward with those hands. And then pull the shoulders back and away from the ears. So the hands might come back a little closer to your head, and that'll be correct. So we want the shoulders back and away, the head relaxing down, but the spine still reaching forward a lot. And then when you're ready on an inhale, walk your hands forward. And on the exhale, tuck your toes, push back, downward facing dog. Excellent, guys. Oh, let's move to the hips a little bit. On your next inhale, lift your left leg up and open to the sky. Open the hip, open the shoulder. Look underneath your armpit here. Lift the left leg as high as you can, but melt the right heel down. Push the floor away with your hands. Take an inhale. On your exhale, bend your left knee. Circle the ankle both directions. Then look up to your hands. Lift your chest away from the floor. Spin your right inner elbow forward. Come up to the fingertips of your left hand. Maybe you're just going to stay here. Maybe you're going to flip your dog. If you're flipping the dog, keep your right leg straight. Keep your left leg bent. Slowly that left leg reaches behind you. When the foot comes to the floor, hips lift up as much as you can. Maybe the arm comes over the head. Maybe not, right? Whatever feels good to you. Then inhale, take the arm up. On the exhale, see if you can come right back to downward facing dog with that left leg lifted. Take a deep inhale. And exhale, step the left foot up between the hands. So we should all be here in a high lunge together at some point. Take all the time you need to get there. Word to the wise, if your left foot didn't make it all the way up there, toe heel until you get there, right? So the knee should be stacked on top of the ankle, never over the ankle, okay? So this is no, this is yes, okay? Now feel the squareness of your hips here. Roll your shoulders back. Commit to leaving this right hip down, okay? This is yes, this is no. Yes, okay? Look forward, take an inhale. On your next exhale, just shoot your hands forward, straighten your left leg, drop your head. Flex your right foot, your toes should be pointing down to the floor. I don't care if they're 2 inches off the floor. I prefer this to this. See the difference? My toes are pointing out, my hip is lifted. Now my hip is down and my toes are pointing down. You will feel the difference immediately in the back of the left hamstring, right? Or in the left hamstring. Now walk the hands a little bit further forward, roll the shoulders back, take your heart forward. If you have a block and you want to use a block, place it under your right hand. On your next inhale, float the left hand up to the left hip. The elbow is going to point to the sky. Keep rolling the chest away from the floor. Slow inhale, left arm comes up. On an exhale, maybe you bend your right knee. Maybe you reach back, some of you guys, and catch the inside of the ankle with the left hand. If that happens, start lifting the foot and lifting the chest. Everything comes away from the floor. If you are super excited about challenging yourself today, maybe tap the floor a couple times with your right hand. Maybe float that right hand up. Yay, release it on down if you lifted. Inhale, lift the left hand, straighten the leg. Exhale, sweep the left hand down, drop your head, relax your neck for a sec. Next inhale, we're going to do the exact opposite with our hip orientation. You are going to start to point those toes out. Yay, that's a relief, right? You start to lift the right hip and stack it on top of the left. Now, if you have a block, you're going to move it to underneath your left hand, and you're going to take the right hand up to the right hip. Yeah? So exciting, right? I'm opening as much as I can here. This is a weird angle. It looks like my left hand is way in front of me, but it's actually under my shoulder. So try to aim for that, right? Then maybe inhale your right arm up. Hello, Mandalorian. On your exhale, some of you guys are going to play with bending your right knee. Maybe you're going to catch the outside of the ankle this time, but notice what I'm not doing. I'm not doing this, right? I keep the hip stacked. I try to lift the knee and drop the foot. Really good, you guys. Then on your next inhale, straighten the leg, straighten the arm. On the exhale, sweep the arm back down, square off the hips. Your left hamstring might be burning. That's a good sign. Inhale, crown the head forward. Exhale, slowly bend your left knee. Look to the back of your mat. Step your right foot gently all the way to the back of the mat. Now we're in a high lunge. Spectacular, guys. Take an inhale here. Exhale, shoot it back to plank. Pull it over to the spine. Good. From here, you can go right back to down dog. You don't have to take that chaturanga, or you can take it if you want. Some of you guys who want an extra chaturanga, just make sure that the shoulders are super far forward of the hands, as I'm demonstrating. And then exhale back to downward facing dog. So good. So good, so good. On your next inhale, let's even it out here. Lift the right leg up and open to the sky. Open the hips, open the shoulder, look underneath your right armpit. How high can you lift this right leg? How far down can you mount the left heel? Take a deep inhale here. Exhale, bend your right knee, circle the ankle both directions. And then look up to your hands, push your chest away from the floor. Spin your left inner elbow forward. Promise that'll help so much. Come up to the fingertips of the right hand. Maybe stay here. Maybe slowly, slowly, slowly tilt backwards. Release the right foot to the floor. Keeping the left leg straight if you can. Inhale the right arm up. Maybe the arm comes over the head. Maybe not. Maybe you inhale it back up here. And then lift that right leg up. Come on back to downward facing dog. And then on an exhale, we're all going to step the right foot up between the hands. You're going to end up in a high lunge here. Take all the time you need to get there. Okay? So do whatever you need to do to make sure that that knee is on top of the ankle, not in front of the ankle. No. Yes. Right? Feel the squareness of your hips here. Remembering that this next sequence is not infinite. It is finite. You will be done with it soon. And also remembering you can take breaks whenever you want. Look forward past your hands. Take a deep inhale. On the exhale, shoot forward, straighten the right leg, drop your head. Flex your left foot, make sure your left toes are pointing straight down to the floor. That is all I care about here. I don't care if the foot can be down there. Just don't have it be here, right? You guys see the difference? Don't show your butt, right? This is yes. You know, tap the fingertips there. And then if you want that block, place it under your left hand, yeah. And then on inhale, we're going to lift that right hand up, take it to the hip, start to twist open here, right? If this is as far as you get in the sequence, fantastic. Great place, right? Maybe inhale the right arm all the way up, twist open a little bit more, roll the shoulders away from the floor. And then maybe on an exhale, we're going to bend that left knee. Maybe hang out here. Maybe reach back and try to catch the inside of the ankle. Notice this, you guys. If I lift, it's easier. People always try to get down to get their ankle. Don't do that. Resist that temptation. I promise you, lift up and grab is going to make life so much simpler for you. Lift the toes up, chest away from the floor. Nice stretch. Really, really, really good. Now maybe tap the left hand on the floor a couple times. Some of you guys who are extra ambitious today will take the hand forward. Release it down. Inhale, straighten the leg, straighten the arm. Exhale, sweep the hand down, drop your head. Just relax your neck for a second. Breathe into the right hamstring. It's going to get relief in just a sec. On our next inhale, do what you've probably been wanting to do, which is start to turn the left toes out toward the left side of the room. Switch your block to underneath your right hand if you have it. And then slowly, slowly, left hand's coming up to the left hip here. Right? Flexing that left foot. Try to stack the left hip on top of the right and take the crown of the head forward. Don't drop down through the head. Inhale the left arm up if that feels good to you. And some of you guys will bend your left knee and maybe reach back and catch the outside of the ankle. Now again, remember, don't collapse the hip down. Keep opening as if you're trying to face the sky. So in other words, the knee lifts and the foot drops. Now slow inhale, straighten the leg, straighten the arm. Hello, Mandalorian. Exhale, sweep the arm back down. Square up your hips. They've got a lot of coaching ideas today. Inhale, heart forward. Exhale, slowly bend your right knee, step your left foot all the way to the back of the room. Well done, guys. We're all in our high lunge now. From here, take an inhale. On your exhale, pull the navel into the spine, shoot the right leg back. Now you're plank. Either push back down dog or lower down chaturanga. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Add an extra chaturanga if you desire. We're all going to release back to downward facing dog. From here, bring your big toes together, spin your heels apart. Take an inhale, press back through the heels. On your exhale, open up your knees to the edges of your mat. Untuck your toes, push back, wide knee child's pose. So here's the thing with wide knee child's pose. It's an opportunity to stretch your low back and your shoulders more deeply than in regular child's pose. So if your shoulders feel funky here or your low back is not cooperating, come back to knees together in your child's pose, right? Relax it down and breathe. When you're ready, on an inhale, creep your fingertips forward. Good. And then just exhale, melt your chest back down just a little bit more. Now on your next inhale, I want you to walk your hands back to your knees, right? And you can sit with knees apart or knees together, whatever feels comfortable. We are due for our kicking exercise this week. I love this one. I hope you will enjoy it as well. So for those who haven't done it yet, I'm going to break down really meticulously. We're going to do left foot forward this time, and then in a couple minutes, we'll do right foot forward. So here's what we're going to do. You're going to take your hands down, and you're going to start as if you're in plank position. So what we're not doing is this kind of thing, as in down dog. What we are doing is this kind of thing. Then you're going to step your left foot forward so your knees kind of to your chest. Notice my foot is not all the way up by my hands. It's back a bit. You're going to use that foot to launch your right leg up. You have one job, and it's to get that right leg in the air. Don't worry about the left leg. It's going to do what it's going to do, okay? So you start in a plank, modified plank, right? Inhale, bend both knees. Exhale, push the right leg up. Use that strong exhale to go with it, right? Look at your fingertips, not at your feet. So yes, look here. No, look there. Look at the fingertips. Shoulders over the hands. Your arms are not moving, guys. You're going to inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Maybe on the exhale, you kick so hard, the left foot comes up too. But what we don't want to do is try to lift both legs and end up messing ourselves up. So inhale, exhale, right leg comes up. Maybe the left leg comes up too. Maybe you find yourself in handstand here. If that happens, try to find your best, strongest, straightest handstand. And then what's the easy way down? I hope you're shouting it from your living room right now. One foot comes down, the other leg comes with it. One leg at a time, right? Don't just plop down both legs. If you're right now being like, I don't want to do a handstand, what's going on? Totally fine. That's not the point of the exercise. The point of the exercise is getting you to use your core and feel that propulsion motion, right? And also to not do this, right? Don't start in down dog, start in plank. Left knee forward, look at the hands, don't look at the feet. Inhale, then exhale, kick. Try maybe 5 of those, and remembering that as the leg lands, whichever leg is landing first, it should be the left, the knee's going to bend to cushion your landing. So take a few seconds with that, have fun, try maybe 5 of them. For my super advanced folks, if you come to handstand and want to descend into chaturanga, remembering that the chest comes forward as you come down, right? And I'm eyeballing with these two who are fighting just off camera. Hopefully this will not turn into something. Can you be good? Be good. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, you should be done by now. Now we're going to release the wrists for a second. So tuck the legs underneath you when you're ready. Turn the palms up, top the hands down. Press the hands down on your thighs and drop your shoulders. Really good, you guys. Nice. And then make fists in the hands and circle the fists both directions. Good. Hello, Montezuma. And then shake out the hands a little. Yeah. Hello. Okay, off, away from the camera. Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to invite you away. Thank you. This is my life. Yeah. Okay. Let's all come to downward facing dog. From your down dog, take an inhale, press back through your heels. On your exhale, release your knees down to the mat. Reposition hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Spin your inner elbows forward. Push the floor away. On your next inhale, left hand comes forward. On your next inhale, right leg comes back. And we're going to do something slightly different this time. You're going to flex your right foot. You're going to, on an inhale, take your left arm out like a wing. On your next inhale, take the sole of the right foot out to the right side of the room. Trust me here, look down. This is going to be a lot more challenging than it seems like it ought to be. If you're shaking right now, that's good. You're doing it right. Next inhale, leg comes to the back, arm comes to the front. Exhale, bend your back knee. Reach back, see if you can catch the inside of the ankle. Remember, some of us just did this standing. Now you're on your knee, it should be a lot easier. Look to your left, start to lift your toes up, and push the floor away actively, like you're trying to get away from the mat here. Take a deep inhale. On your exhale, straighten the leg, straighten the arm. Slow inhale with both straight limbs. Exhale, replace the hand, replace the knee, tuck your toes, push back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale, bend your knees and look forward. At the end of the exhale, step or lightly float. We're all going to end up at the front of our mat, feet touching, big toes together, heels apart. Spin those heels apart, drop the head. Rock it forward as far as you can. Shake your head no, nod your head yes. Good. Take your hands to your hips. Right. And drop the elbows down, drop your head. On the next inhale, elbows point up to the sky. Next inhale, flat back, rise to standing. On your exhale, palms come down. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, flat back, swan dive all the way down. Beautiful. Back up here where you guys are. Inhale, heart forward, chin to the chest. On the exhale, step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Spin your back heel flat. Again, big toes point up at a diagonal. So not out here. Yes, up here. When you're ready, inhale, cartwheel up, right arm, left arm. Now we're in warrior two. Right? So just find your best warrior two here. Left knee tracking directly off of the toes. Hips curl under, shoulders dropped. Yeah, maybe scoot your back heel back a bit. Maybe toe heel your feet up and then crank that heel back and then recenter the hips, melt down. Great job, you guys. Good. Take a deep inhale, reach as far forward as you can. On your exhale, straighten your front leg and drop your left hand down wherever it wants to go that's not your knee. Thigh is good, calf is good, floor is good, block is good, but don't collapse down to make that happen. So extend a lot here, spin your left inner elbow forward, look up to your top hand, okay? I'm gonna give you a couple of options here. Feel free to take any of them. Option number one, you can stay right here. Option number two, inhale, look up. Exhale, palm to the front, arm reaches over. Not here, yes here, behind the ear, right? Final super challenge, keep the torso where it is. Inhale your left arm up. Yeah, clap your hands. Twice. Inhale, come on up. Beautiful. Exhale, bend your left knee, cartwheel down, hands to either side. Lift your right heel. Okay? Now we're going to have a couple of different options. You'll have fun trying several of them. Number one, you're just going to separate the feet and kind of circle through the hips a little bit. Okay? This should open up your right hip flexor a bit. Right? And now number two, we're going to spin that heel back down again, go back onto the balance beam. Right? From here, we're going to walk our hands inside the left foot, and maybe you're just going to hang out here, right, and work this stretch. Some of you guys are going to wrap your left arm underneath the back of your left leg. Maybe your shoulder presses here and you're going to work this stretch. Some of you guys who want to come to the balance here are going to toe heel your left foot towards the right. You're going to lift up until you can take your right hand to the outside of your left foot, and then you're going to start straightening that leg. The arm comes over the head, the leg goes forward, the left arm stays straight, and then look up underneath your arm, and you might fall over, and so might I. It's very exciting. And then when you're ready, release the left foot down. Yes, yes, yes. If you need one more piece of excitement, lift your right heel. If your left arm's already underneath your leg, plant the palms down, start to lean forward, forward, forward. Walk that left foot forward. Maybe walk the right foot up as well. Left leg comes up, maybe hang out here. Maybe lean forward, and you're in scissors. And release back. So many exciting options. Unwind your arm. And then we're going to take an inhale here. And on your exhale, just step right back to downward facing dog. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple seconds to play with either of those two things I just offered. And then we're all going to meet in child's pose. And here's the child's pose I'd like to offer. Big toes touch, heels spin apart. Take an inhale, press back through the heels. On your exhale, release your knees down to the mat. Untuck the toes. Hips to the heels, arms come around the back. Inhale, crown of the head forward. Exhale, everything drops down, plunk. Oh, shoulders drop, head drops, hands drop, release. And once you get to this child's pose, I want you to mentally scan your body, and I want you to see if you feel asymmetrical at all. So your left side will have done a lot of work. If you took all those options I gave you, there's going to be a lot of blood flowing through the glute, through the left glute, and your left shoulder, maybe. So you might feel like your leg is longer. You might feel like your arm is longer. Just notice these things. We're going to make those symmetrical in just a second, but notice what's going on there. And people have asked me before, you know, when you do I don't do very, very long series, as you guys notice. I never do more than maybe 4 poses in a row. But when I do put poses together in a row, it's for a purpose, right? There's a reason that I don't do thing on the left, thing on the right, thing on the left, thing on the right, right? It's helping you get into that last one. So the things that precede it are helping you get to that point, in theory, or they should. They're giving you an opportunity to do that. So we're going to even it out in just a second. And what we're going to start with is our kicking exercise on the other side. So when you're ready, coming out of your child's pose, you're going to come to your plank position again. Right? Find your best plank. Yeah? You're going to step your right foot forward. And remembering that the knees at the chest, you don't have to get the foot all up here. That's not going to work well, right? Take it back a bit. Look to your hands. Do not look to your feet. It will not work. Look here. Claw with your fingertips. Really, really press with those fingertips. Those are your brakes, right? To keep you from going too far forward. Then you're going to inhale, bend. Exhale, kick. Inhale. Exhale. Strong exhale. Just that left leg. That's your job, to get the left leg up. If the right leg joins it, oh well. Great, right? And if you end up in your handstand, I know some of you guys want to come down Chaturanga from handstand, so let me just demo that really quickly. The chest is going to come forward a lot as you come down, and one foot lands first, right? So I hope you guys saw how my chest kind of, like a snake, comes through. You definitely don't want to come down kerplunk backwards. Think about diving through your arms to come down. So try maybe 5 of those kicks on the other side with the right foot forward. And when you're done, we'll all come to sitting and we'll stretch out the wrists a little bit. See what time? Perfect time. We're doing great. It is so hot in this living room, guys. Woo! It's unintentional hot yoga today. Woo. And then when you're ready, we'll end up sitting. And we're going to stretch out the wrists a little bit. So here's the first thing we're going to do. Take your palm towards your face and then pull the fingers back and try to straighten your arm. And then switch over other side. Pull and straighten. Really good. And then you're going to take the palm away from the face, pull the fingers back and try to straighten the arm. Oh, that should feel really good right through here. And then other side. Good. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Nicely done. Okay, we are going to come back to our downward facing dog. So find your way there, whatever way you want. You're going to take an inhale, press back through the heels. And on your exhale, go ahead and release your knees back down to the mat. Reposition hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Untuck the toes. Next inhale takes the right hand forward, handshake position. Crank that left inner elbow forward, right? Next inhale takes the left leg back, right? So remembering that we're going to be here very briefly. I know this isn't the most fun activity, what we're about to do. On an inhale, float the right arm out like a wing. You're flexing your left foot. Keep looking down. Inhale the sole of the left foot out towards the left side of the room. Try curling your tailbone under a little bit, will help you a lot. Maybe the outside of your left thigh is burning right now. Great sign. On an inhale, take the leg back and the arm front. Good. Take an inhale here. Exhale, bend your back knee. Maybe hang out here. Maybe put your hand down, right? Maybe grab the inside of the ankle. Maybe start lifting the toes. Take the chest away from the floor, guys. Lift, lift away. Use your left hand to press the floor away, and then maybe look up and open up into the twist here, yeah? Really good. So many good things going on here. And then slow inhale, straighten the legs, straighten the arm. And exhale, release it back down. Good job. Tuck your toes, push back, down dog. From your down dog, inhale, bend your knees and look forward. And to the exhale, step or lightly float. Feet up to the hands. Maybe you take a handstand here. Release down gently. Big toes touch. Heels turn apart. Drop your head. Relax your neck. Hands to the hips. Drop the elbows down. Inhale, elbows point up. Next inhale, flat back, rise to standing. Exhale, palms down. Inhale, sweep the arms up, look up. Exhale, flat back, swan dive all the way down. Well done, guys. Inhale, heart forward, chin to the chest. Exhale, step your left foot all the way to the back of the room. We're setting up warrior 2 foot position. Take all the time you need to get there. And then when you're ready, on an inhale, cartwheel up, left arm, right arm. You're in your warrior 2. And then just take a second to find your best warrior 2, right? So let's situate myself, sink down a bit. Make sure the right knee is moving forward or slightly towards the right. Don't let it collapse to the left, right? Maybe toe heel the foot up, crank the left heel back, recenter the hips, tailbone under, shoulders down, sink a little lower, right? All of these are options. And then inhale, reach as far forward as you can. Exhale, slowly straighten the front leg, release your right hand down, maybe to the thigh, maybe to the shin, maybe to the floor, but don't achieve that by sticking your butt out, okay? Keep the butt under. Imagine yourself as in between 2 panes of glass. Then spin the right inner elbow forward. Just sliding. There we go. Look up to the sky. Now, if you're interested in some extra excitement, take an inhale here. On the exhale, palm forward. And again, float the arm behind the ear if you can. And then we're only going to be here for a second. Keep your torso where it is. Slow inhale. Right arm comes forward. Clap. 2 times. Inhale, go all the way up. And exhale, bend the front knee. Cartwheel all the way down. Lift your left heel. Toe heel your right foot to the right slightly. And we're going to just circle through the hips a little bit, opening up the left hip flexor. So good. And now on to our fabulous menu of exciting options, right? So item number 1, toe heel your right foot back, spin your back heel flat again. Everybody take your right hand to the inside of the right foot. Maybe you're just working this stretch. It's a lot, right? There's a lot going on at this point. Maybe you're going to take your right arm underneath the back of the right leg. Okay, some of you guys can get your shoulder under there and you can rock front to back. I like that a lot. If you're going for the balance here, what's going to happen? You're going to toe heel your right foot toward the left, and then you're going to walk that foot forward a bit until you can grab, and then you'll lift. Some people lift the toe, some people lift the heel. I like to lift the heel. Take your left hand to the outside of the foot, start to straighten that leg. As the leg straightens, maybe you're going to look up to the sky here. That's very challenging for me. Leg straight, leg straight. And then when you're ready, slowly release the leg back down. Woo! If you'd like to take the arm balance from here, toe heel the right foot to the right, lift your left heel. Try to get your shoulder under as much as you can. If this is not of interest to you, don't worry about it. Keep stretching that left hip flexor. Walk the foot forward. Shift your weight forward. Right foot lifts. Maybe you're going to hang out here. Maybe you're going to come all the way forward. Left foot lifts as well. And release back down. So good, you guys. When it's no longer fun, step it back into child's pose. Here's the child's pose I'm offering you right now. Big toes together, heels apart. Untuck the toes, sink your hips back. Here's the arm variation I like a lot. You're going to spin your palms open to the sky. You're going to interlace your pinky fingers. So the palms are like if you're like, smack yourself in the face, right? Walk the arms forward, drop your head down. So what's happening here? For me, my shoulders can roll open a lot better than if my palms were flat. So with palms flat, my shoulders come up a lot. With palms up, my shoulders roll back and down a lot more. So if you're choosing that variation, take a couple breaths here and then switch your clasp, other pinky on the bottom, right? Drop and breathe. Working the shoulders back and away from the ears. Now relaxing. So this is very exciting news, and maybe not that exciting, but it might be exciting to you. Right now you have the opportunity to do a mini flow. So I know at least one of our class participants loves the mini flow, so we're going to do that now. But you have the choice of not participating in the mini flow. You can stay right here in your child's pose. You can do a couple of rounds in the mini flow. You can do the whole thing. You can take the chaturangas or not take the chaturangas, right? You can take the pose and push right back down dog in between. Or as I said before, you can rest because everything after this is just stretching and resting, okay? So if you're interested, inhale, take fingertips forward. On your exhale, tuck your toes, push back down facing dog. We're just going to do just a couple. Inhale your left leg up behind. Exhale, step your left foot up between the hands. Melt your right knee down to the floor. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Modified crescent pose. Exhale, release it on down. Straighten your back leg. Take an inhale here. Exhale, shoot the left foot back. From here, you can push right back down dog or lower down chaturanga. And we all meet in down dog. Inhale the right leg up behind. Exhale, step it through between the hands. Melt your left knee down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Modified crescent pose. Exhale, release it back down. Straighten the back leg and shoot that right leg back. Push back down dog or lower down chaturanga, your choice. Step the left foot forward between the hands. Keep the right hand down. Inhale the left arm up, twist open. And exhale, sweep it back down. Step to plank, down dog or chaturanga. Step the right foot forward between the hands. Keep the left hand flat. Inhale, sweep the right arm up, twisting. And exhale, sweep it back down again. Step to plank, down dog or lower, your choice. Step the left foot forward on your next inhale. No big deal. Cartwheel open, left arm, right arm, twist open to the left. Woo! Exhale, take it back down to plank. Down dog or chaturanga. Just one more here. Step the right foot forward between the hands. On an inhale, cartwheel open to twist. All the way up. Right arm up there. Yes. And exhale, take it back down to plank. Down dog or chaturanga. And in our down dog, we're all going to bring our big toes together. Spin our heels apart. Take an inhale, press back through the heels. On your exhale, look forward between your hands. Pick a spot with your eyes that's really far past your hands. Inhale, bend your knees, drop your butt to your heels. On the exhale, hop up as far as you can, either to the hands or through the hands. Shh, maybe you come to balance. Maybe you don't. It doesn't matter. We're all going to end up in the same place. Bend your knees and sit up as tall as you can. I'll give you a second to join me up at the front of the mat. Drop the shoulders. And we're gonna sit up nice and tall here. Rolling the shoulders back, lifting the heart. And then when you're ready, we're gonna inhale, take the arms back behind, right? And then we're going to, on our next inhale, lift our legs up and tuck the right leg under and the left leg over. And we're gonna come to a twist here. So I'm gonna face the camera so you can see what I'm doing. I'm gonna make a space for my left sit bone to reach the floor. And the way that that happens is I'm gonna take my right leg out in front, flexing the foot, and then release my hip down to the floor, right? So I'm not sitting on my foot. I don't want that to happen. I wanna take the right foot out, and I wanna drop the left hip down. Then I wanna take my left foot and pull it back as far as I can. So the sole of the left foot is on the floor, and then the left hip is on the floor, yeah? And I'm flexing the right foot a lot to protect the right knee. On my next inhale, I'm gonna take my left hand down. Bless you, Mando. Little cat sneeze. Inhale your right arm up. On the exhale, take the right elbow to the outside of the left thigh and twist open. Should feel good. So here's what I wanna remind you guys of. If you can twist really far, if you scrunch down, don't do that. Get tall here. Let getting tall be your first job. Let twisting be your second job. Open up. Take one more deep inhale, lift. And exhale, come on back to center. Well done, guys. We're gonna move to fire log now, our double pigeon. So we're gonna take the right foot out in front until our shin is parallel with the front of the mat, okay? So if you look at the front of your mat, your lower leg should be perfectly parallel with it. Now we're gonna lift that left leg and set the, hey there, hi there, hi. All right, hi coaches. Set the left foot just past the right knee. Now, if you look right now, guys, look at this giant gap between my knee and my foot. That's because I've got really tight hips. Believe it or not, in yoga, you can affect a lot of things. You can increase your flexibility tremendously, but always within a range, right? So my hip flexibility has gotten much, much better through my yoga practice. Imagine how bad it was before. It's horrible, right? So if you've got a big gap here or even a bigger gap, don't despair. It's going to be fine. If your knee dropped to your ankle here, you've got a really open hip situation, which is great. But notice that if I cheated and brought my foot back, I could do that too. What am I opening here? My ankle. See how my foot is sickled? That's not what I want to do. I want to get into my hip. So I take the foot over and I take the other foot forward. And that's how we ensure that we're actually working on our hip, not just trying to look a certain way, right? If your knee touches your foot with correct positioning, inhale, take your arms up, exhale, fold forward, walk, 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 right? If you've got the tight hips like me, here's what we're going to do. Take your left elbow to your left thigh. Now, take your right index finger and thumb, or maybe index knuckle and thumb, and grab the webbing of the left hand. You're going to do two things at once. You're going to massage the living daylights out of that webbing while you press on your thigh. Not your shin. Do not press here, guys. That's a great way to completely mess up your knee. Here, thigh, right? Rocking front to back. Look, you can see my knee releasing right away, right? My hip's already opening up here. But it doesn't feel good. No. This is not my favorite. It's not my favorite thing. But it's working. And when you're ready, inhale, come on back up. Take your hands behind. Inhale, slowly lift the legs up. On the exhale, take your left leg down, the right leg comes over. We're going to take the twist on the opposite side. So get into this just as slowly and carefully as you did on the other side. We're going to bring the left foot forward. We're going to drop our right hip down and then pull our right leg up, 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 all right? Plant the sole of the right foot down on the floor. Try to get your right hip to the floor. If you can't make all those things happen at once, don't worry. This is what we're working towards. This is why we call it a yoga practice, not a yoga performance, right? Sit up as tall as you can here. Take your right hand back. Inhale the left arm up. Exhale, left elbow comes to the outside of the right thigh, and we're going to open up here. Oh, this should feel good. Get tall as you can. Hello, Monty. Montezuma's looking at me like I'm like being tortured. No, the hip opener is where I'm tortured, Monty. It's fine now. Keep twisting here. Take a nice deep inhale. And exhale, come on back. Great job, you guys. Now we're moving to the hip opener to firewalk, okay? So take your left ankle forward, flex the foot, okay? Probably further forward than you think it needs to go. Then lift this right leg up. The right ankle is just on top of the knee. The foot is just outside of the knee. Your right knee should be just above your left ankle, right? So again, don't move the foot back and go, oh, look at me. No, that's not the point of the exercise, right? This pose is about opening up the hip, particularly the right hip. Keep your left foot flexed, keep your right foot flexed, as we've talked about every single week. Flexing the foot protects the knee, right? Sit up as tall as you can. If you've got knee to ankle already, inhale, take it up. Exhale, fold forward, walk, walk, walk forward, etc. If you got the tight hips like me, right elbow comes to right thigh, right? Left thumb and either index finger or knuckle are going to come to the webbing of the right hand. And we're going to go to town, massaging that webbing, rocking slightly and pushing the right elbow down onto the right thigh. And releasing that right hip. So when you become a yoga teacher, you're always told people hold emotions in their hips. So when you're doing the hip openers, people might have some strong emotional reactions. They might cry or they might laugh. It seems inappropriate. And I have to say that I feel really murderous when I'm doing my hip openers. Yeah, I feel really violent. So whatever you're feeling right now is absolutely fine. As long as you don't act on it, it'll be fine. A couple more rocks here. And we're good. Lovely. Take your arms back behind. Inhale, lift the arms up. And exhale, set the feet back down. Good job, you guys. Take your hands on your knees, and we're back with cat vision. Montezuma, could you move away from the camera, please? Thank you so much. Go ahead and wiggle your toes here a little bit. Just wiggle it out. Okay, good. Keep an eye on the time. We're going to move to some back bends here. Should be exciting. So I want you, first of all, take your left hand, grab your right wrist. Okay? Roll your shoulders back, sit up as tall as you can. Good. And then round and switch it over. Right hand grabs the left wrist, and then sit up as tall as you can. Roll the shoulders back. Good. And then round. And then I'm going to turn back around so you guys can see. I think that the diagonal view might be easier for you. Not sure. Hands come into the knees. Knees draw together. Don't let them separate here. Press your big toes down. Lift your other 8 toes. Okay? 2 press down, 8 lift. Sit up as tall as you can. Roll the shoulders back. Take a nice deep inhale here. On your exhale, round your back, roll onto your back, bring your knees into your chest here. Wiggle your toes, circle your ankles. Yay. And then we're going to set the feet down flat on the floor. Now I am going to turn to the side so that you can see. Let's do it this way. Get a little closer. I think that's a good angle. Yeah. Okay, good. So first of all, I'm going to reach down towards my heels and I'm going to try to touch my heels. And maybe I'm going to scoot down a little bit until I can touch my heels. I'm going to turn my toes in slightly. I definitely don't want my toes turning out. So that's a big no. Turn in a little bit. Yeah. And then we're going to flip our palms open to the sky here. Mando, can you not? Thank you. Thank you, good boy. This is it's an unusual class. Press, good pose. Good job. Yes. Yes, claw the post. You don't claw the couch. Next up, guys, press the back of your hands into the floor. Lift your hips up and right away try to rock side to side and get your shoulders underneath you. Now, take your fingertips, try to thread them to the inside of your heels. So my palms are pressing out, and maybe I can get a little higher here, right? Then I'm going to lift my hips as high as I can, but this is the important part. Don't clench your butt, okay? Don't do 1980s calisthenics. Oh, squeeze, right? That's how everybody developed low back pain in that era. Press with your legs. Hello, Mandalorian. That was, well, that's probably my favorite moment in all the classes I've taught. Thank you for that. Yes, we're in bridge. A cat might walk underneath you at that time if your bridge is high enough. I'm going to say mine is. Take an inhale, lift. And on the exhale, release that down. Oh, man. Yes. And then go ahead and just roll out the wrists a little bit and take your fingertips to the back of your neck. Take your chin to your chest. That should feel good. Okay. We're going to take another back bend here. I'm going to give you a bunch of different options. Option number one, you're going to take the same bridge you did. Okay. Just take it again. See if it feels a little deeper. Maybe take an alternate hand position, etc. Option number two, supported bridge. Press your elbows down. Inhale, lift, hips come up. I get up on top of my shoulders right away. Now I rock side to side and I place my thumb down at my tailbone, not up here in my low back, lower, because I want to push my tailbone under to protect the low back while I'm opening up the upper back. Okay? You might want to flip your feet over, top of the feet on the floor. That feels really good to me. I like to stretch my ankles that way. If you're going to lift a leg, or each leg alternately, come back to flat-footed. Okay? So from here, you have a nice strong base to lift a leg up, right? If you'd like to move to wheel, here's how it happens. Rock, place a hand under the shoulder, not up here, right back here. Rock, place a hand. From here, elbows point up, toes point in. Exhale, crown of the head. From here, elbows point back, not to the sides, right? On an exhale, the arms straighten. Okay, make sure the toes are pointing in again. If you want to open up your shoulders, you guys know I love this one. I do it every time I do a back bend. Press my chest through. That feels great to my shoulders. It might or might not to you. Then you can play with walking your feet closer or further away. Always remembering that the toes need to be pointing in slightly, not out, right? If today you would like to rotate your wheel, here's how that works. Think or say out loud, and I promise you, if you don't do this, you're going to end up in trouble. Right hand right, left foot left. Right hand right, left foot left. Right hand right, left foot left, until you get all the way back around to the other side again. And then you're going to say left hand left, right foot right. Left hand left, right foot right. Keep walking, keep walking, keep walking until you get back around to the place that you started in. And if you don't say that, you're probably going to end up with your hands and your feet all in the same place. So when you're done, take an inhale. On the exhale, tuck your chin. Slowly release it on down. And I'm going to give you a few minutes to play now. Have some back bend that appeals to you. And then we're going to come back and counter that. So again, remembering if you're trying to rotate that wheel, especially for the first time, what usually happens to folks is they end up with their hands and their feet all like crossed on top of each other. So keep saying right hand right, left foot left, right hand right, and it'll take you around in the direction that you want to go. And if it's your first time trying or your 10th time trying and it's not going perfectly, remember our watch phrase today. What is important? What is important? Is it important that you do it perfectly today or ever? Absolutely not, right? These are all ways of just getting our body to move, be active, stretch, right? So we're stretching, strengthening, and releasing tension at all times. A lot of people I've found in their yoga practice forget that last part where we're supposed to be releasing tension, right? They're like, I'm going to get stronger and I'm going to stretch and I'm going to, but they're like about it, right? The most important part is releasing tension. That aids your body more extremely than really anything else you can do. And don't believe me, Google stress, side effects of stress, right? They're terrifying. They're worse than pretty much anything else you can do to your body. So have fun. And then we'll all meet back on our backs. And when we come back to our backs, we're going to take a plow to counter that back bend. If you hate plow, some people do. You're just going to take a forward fold seated, right? So option number one is big toes touch, heels spin apart, rock side to side, pull the flesh out from under the sit bones, inhale up, exhale, fold forward, right? Option number two, we're doing that, which is backwards. That's all plow is. So you're going to release back onto your back, Let me see if you guys can scoot forward a bit. And then you're going to go ahead and take your arms down. Put the backs of the hands on the floor. Take the feet up. And then slowly, 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 legs come over the back towards behind you. And then rock side to side. Get your shoulders underneath you again. And then you have two choices here. One is super straight leg. Option number 2 today is bend your knees, drop them down by your ears. Oh, feels good. And then when you're ready to come out, you straighten your legs. Slowly, slowly roll back down again. When the tailbone hits the mat, you're going to bring your knees into your chest. Oh, good. And we're going to take a twist here on our backs before we go to our inversion, just to make sure that we're completely released. So go ahead and take your right leg out. You guys see that? Let me scoot back. The right leg comes out. You're going to tuck your left toes. Back. There, reverse worm. Okay, left toes are going to tuck behind the back of the right knee. A slightly different twist, right? So we're not up here. We're going to come down here. Take the right hand to the outside of the left hip. Pull the right knee to the floor. And then take the left arm out like a wing. And if you need more, look at that left hand. So your goal is, can I keep my left shoulder on the floor and take my right knee to the floor? And then maybe look at my left hand. And then we're coming back to center, and then we're going to switch over to the other side, left leg straight, right toes behind the back of the knee. So instead of doing this, today we're going to hook the toes. Take the right arm out like a wing, left hand comes to the outside of the left hip. Pull that hip, keep looking at the right hand. So if your shoulder lifts, get that shoulder back down, right? So let shoulder on the floor be your first job, knee on the floor is your second job. Then maybe look at your right hand. And then come on back to the center. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Good. Wiggle out the toes. Bring the knees to the chest. Take an inhale. Exhale, rock up to sitting. Okay, so it's time for inversion. Yay, so exciting, right? And inversion is the time to let everything flow in the opposite direction. So many people over the years have told me after class, I got the solution to a problem in my inversion, right? I suddenly had this miraculous thought or this miraculous revelation. You guys, I can't stress enough how just flipping things upside down is so helpful, right? Literally, your view of things changes, but also the direction of things flowing in your body shakes up stuff that might be preventing you from maybe making a connection that you want to make, right? So option number 1, I demo this every time, and it amuses me greatly to do so. If you have a wall or even the arm of a couch that you can use, you're going to come up there, you're going to scoot your butt right up to the edge, right like this, all the way up there, so that you can make a 90-degree angle with your legs. Okay, so scoot, scoot, scoot your butt all the way up and then just relax. Here's your 90-degree. Hi guys, I'm in an inversion, right? You're getting all that benefit of the everything in the legs flowing backwards. Like, don't underestimate the benefit to your lymphatic system, right? Even from this very simple inversion. Option number 2, handstand. Yeah. You'll probably need a wall for this. Many of you have a handstand practice away from the wall. If you do have a wall, I'm going to demo as if you have a wall. Let's pretend you have one, right? So let's pretend that wait, I'm going to do it. I'll do it this way. Let's pretend that I've got a wall right here. I am not going to put my fingertips right up against the wall because then where's my head going to go? No, my head just went through the wall, right? So if your wall is like here, bring your fingertips back about 6 inches because just like we practiced in our kicking exercise, our shoulders need to be stacked over our hands to get to our handstand, right? So remember in that kicking exercise, we didn't start back here. We started here, yeah? So we bring that knee forward. Let's say the wall's about there. We claw with our fingertips. We keep those arms straight. We inhale, exhale, kick. And when that first foot finds the wall, you're just going to tap it and then straighten out from there. So a big mistake people make is trying to take their butt to the wall. Don't do that. Keep the butt stacked over the shoulders. and then slowly work your legs back. You can always touch the wall if you get disoriented, right? And then to get down again, it's easy. One leg at a time, gentle, gentle release. Yeah? That's all there is to it. So what are the danger ones, right? What are the no's? No bending of elbows, right? If you're trying to do a handstand and you bend your elbows, you're going to end up on the floor. So commit to yourself. Arms are straight the whole time, right? You're not going to bend at all. Number 2 pitfall that I already mentioned is trying to take your butt to the wall. That's going to be murder on your low back, and it's also going to put horrible stress on your shoulders that shouldn't be happening. You want to be stacked, right? Hands, shoulders, hips. Maybe the leg goes to the wall, right? Maybe the foot comes back, but the body's stacked. What else? Trying to hop up with both feet, trying to come down with both feet. If you're a very advanced yogi and this is your practice and you can slowly lower down with good control, great, do that. But if you're just starting in handstand, try to not do that. Right? Options for folks who need more. People who need more for handstand today, maybe try, let's see, sorry guys, here's my butt. I'm gonna come up because I want you to be able to see this. If you want more in your handstand today, try half or a full lotus, okay? So maybe bring this leg down, maybe bring this leg down. See if I can even do this. I haven't done this one up. There we go. There's your lotus handstand. Yeah? To get out of this, take the feet out first and release down. Okay? So that's your excitement to try. If you don't have a full lotus, just do one leg, do the other leg, right? Take a couple more minutes to play. I talked for a long time, sorry. And then we'll all return to our backs. And now they're calm. They're calm for Savasana. Thanks, guys. That was very thoughtful. When you've finished with your inversion, come on back to your back. We're going to release ourselves onto our backs, and then once you bring your knees to your chest, just find a little stretch. Take the soles of the feet together, take your hands to your ankles, okay? Then act like you're going to drop your feet to the floor. They're not actually going to go, but notice that the further you lower it, the more you can stretch your shoulders away from the ears, and it should feel good. And then just take a nice deep inhale here. And on your exhale, release the feet down. And if it feels good to keep your legs in this position for your Savasana, you can do that. It might start hurting your tailbone after a while, so you might want to just take the legs out. And then today you have a choice with your arms. You can either take them out and down, or maybe take them up, right? So some people like this, especially if it's really hot, to kind of feel a little more open to the air coming over you. So the moral of the story is find your best Savasana position. Find the position that makes you most comfortable. Shut your eyes and release into your most well-deserved Savasana. And as most of you guys know, I am going to talk to you during your Savasana, which you can listen to or not. If you would prefer silent, peaceful Savasana, go ahead and mute me and just sit with the silence, right? Or if you want to put some music on for your Savasana, great. If you'd like to hear my thoughts on our theme for the week, I'm going to give them to you now. So whatever your choice is, just make happen the environment that you have control over, right? The best environment you can create for your best Savasana right now. That might be socks, something for your eyes. Like I said, maybe it's muting my incessant talking, or maybe it's listening as I share with you some things that have been helpful to me and to some other folks who've come to me for guidance this week. So the theme for the week is what is important, right? And I think it's really helpful in a lot of ways, both for us helping ourselves and for us helping others, right? So relating to ourselves at any given moment, I know that you guys know this, like the famous Shakespearean quote, there is nothing good or bad, but thinking makes it so, right? So it isn't the thing that's happening to us, it's how we feel about the thing, what we think about the thing. We can choose to feel differently or think differently about it. Sometimes that's easier than others, right? But for anything in life, any food, any activity, any sort of music, etc., there are people who love that thing. It's their favorite thing. And there are people who hate it with a burning passion, right? So things in and of themselves, with exceptions, right? Obviously, but most things are neither inherently good or bad. Some things are, right? Inherently good or inherently bad, just not right, right? Those are the things that we work to change, that we fight against, that we work to rectify, either in our personal lives or in society. That's where the what is important comes in, right? A lot of times we want to feel as if we're doing something. Now, let me give you a personal example. I set a schedule for myself during the week. These are the athletic things that I do every week, right? So I do this many days of yoga and I do this many days of aerial conditioning and I do etc. And sometimes my schedule doesn't permit me to check all those boxes. And I get so upset with myself. And I'm, oh God, this is going to be horrible. And I have to keep reminding myself, I set the schedule. It wasn't written on tablets of stone. I just decided. It was somewhat arbitrary. I mean, not entirely so, because I, over the years, have found like a definition of what is overtraining for me or what is undertraining, etc. But um, these ideas that we have in our head that we get so upset about if we don't attain, etc., are not always anything that's even real, right? They might be a good general guideline, but they're not worth losing our serenity over. They're definitely not worth feeling tension over. Regarding the outside world, I'd like to return to the helping, fixing kind of thing, right? We all want to believe we're good people, or most of us do, right? There are always exceptions. Most of us want to believe we're good people. We want to believe that we're helping. We want to believe that we are making people happier or feeling better or making a difference or that we're important, right? And that's okay. It's not bad to want to feel important. If you didn't want that, there'd be something wrong in there, right? That's part of just how the human psyche works. The feeling of belonging and contribution, that's the definition of a healthy psyche, that we want that. And eye on the ball, right? So what is important in any given situation? And it helps to just take a second and stop and go, okay, is it more important to me that I fix this thing or I make this better, or that the thing gets fixed and the thing is better? And if the answer is it's more important that I do it, then we're not really interested in helping, right? So if there's a choice between I'm going to fix it or it's going to get fixed, right? Our purest intention is that it gets fixed or it gets alleviated or it gets rectified, whether we're the ones to make that happen or not, right? So I just invite you to remember that having a purity of intention is really what character is about, right? Not being the one to come in and save the day, right? And sometimes, like I said, we have the best of intentions, we take an action, it's not well received. I must remind you that yes, it's important to examine that and say, was there a better thing I could have said or a better thing I could have done, etc. But sometimes the person was going to be upset no matter what. It's not about you. There was no right answer. There was no right action. And so in that moment, all we can do is have compassion, right? Understand that a lot of people are operating from old wounds or maybe current wounds that are being inflicted by somebody else. Like it's like a tiger with the thorn in the paw. You didn't put the thorn there, but if you happen to be there while the thorn is there, you're going to get the claws, right? So please attempt, or I invite you to attempt to be non-reactive to the best of your ability. And if your intentions are misinterpreted or ill-received, maybe the best contribution you can have is just non-reaction, infusing compassion into a situation, right? And just sitting with whatever is happening. Because that's what's important. That's what's important. So keeping your eyes shut if possible, beginning to rub the thumbs across the pads of the fingers of each hand. And beginning to circle the wrists and the ankles slowly. And keeping the eyes shut if possible, you're going to roll over to one side. It can be the right or the left side, whichever calls to you. And then bring the knees into the chest and thank your body for working so well and so hard for you. And thank yourself for having the wonderful presence of mind to have a yoga practice. No matter how frequently or infrequently you're able to engage in it, each time we move our bodies in this way, they thank us. Well done. And then coming up to a nice comfortable seated position, take any position that lets the tailbone melt down and the crown of the head lift up to the sky. And we're going to take palms face up on the knees. And we're going to let those open palms symbolize the space we've created during this class, space for the new and the different and the better, space for unexpected blessings to drop effortlessly into our outstretched palms, and we accept them with joy and gratitude. And then bring palms into the heart, palms pressed together, thumbs in, fingers spread away. We'll let the gentle pressure of our thumbs on heart center remind us of the inexhaustible supply of love and generosity and goodwill that we have to share with all. And knowing that all we put forth will indeed return to us 1,000-fold in the most miraculous and unexpected of ways. And then bringing palms to the forehead for clarity of thought, and to the mouth for clarity of speech, and to the heart for clarity of action. I thank you all for sharing your beautiful practices and your beautiful spirits with me today. We end this class as always with a phrase which means, that which is sacred in me acknowledges that which is sacred in you. And so we say, Namaste. Thank you so much, my beautiful yogis. I am so delighted that we have this time together each week. I'm Mercy, your yoga friend across the miles, or maybe just across the city. And I thank you again for all of your wonderful work and play and adventuring. And I will see you very, very soon. Mwah. Wonderful work, guys. Bye-bye.